All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Today on the show, we're going through Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27. Let's get into it. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to do it. So, basically, do good deeds whenever you can. If you're seeing a stranger, if you're walking down the street, I just thought of a really funny song. But anyway, if you see a stranger and you know you can do something kind for them, if you see a homeless person and you can do something kind for them, do it. I think that's what this is saying, because why would you withhold good when it is in your power to do good? And this is also interesting. I didn't think about this before I started this podcast, but I'm thinking about it now. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due. And then the little not subtitle, but sometimes there's an explanation of words. And the explanation for those to whom it is due is do not withhold good from its owners, which is really interesting to think about. And I don't really know what it means there. Who is good due to? In my head, at face value, not having done any research on this, I'm thinking about the fact that God loves everybody. And because God loves everybody, I can love everybody. And because I can love everybody, I can bear their burdens with them. I can love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love doesn't insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. Love is patient and kind, all that good stuff. I can be that to people because God loves me, so I can love people. And God loves those people as well. And because God loves them, they are worth loving. I'm like, if the creator of the universe can choose to love you, I can choose to love you, because there has to be something good about you, even if I can't see it right now. And so that was interesting. Maybe I didn't read this carefully enough prepping for this podcast, but do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to do it. What really stood out to me specifically was the fact that I think we're morally obligated to do good when we can. And this is a command. So if you're Christian, it's like, don't withhold good from those to whom it is due. But also, just people in general, I think we get fulfillment from doing good to people and from impacting people in a positive way. And if you can do it, you should. And my metaphor for this is always, imagine you're standing on a cliff and you see somebody hanging off the cliff. If you have the power to help that person and you choose not to, do you feel like you have crossed a moral line that you don't want to cross? You have, I don't know, you just haven't acted in accordance with your moral code. That's how I feel. If I'm looking at somebody, they're about to fall off a cliff, and I know that I can help them, maybe a little risky for me, but I know ultimately I can help them with a high chance of success, then yeah, I'm going to go help them. And I think if we don't, it's a morally questionable act. There, I said it. I don't think everybody needs to agree with that. That's just what I think. And when I read this verse, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, that's what I think of. Our moral obligation to help people when we can. So as an entrepreneur, I think it's really important to get clear on what's your highest and best use, and that is your genius zone. And then to stay in your genius zone, there is this book by Gay Hendricks, talks about the upper limit problem. It's called The Big Leap. In that book, he talks about finding your genius zone, staying in your genius zone, and then there's also this book called Who Not How, where you find people whose genius zone it is to do the things that aren't in your genius zone. And then you partner. So you're in your genius zone, they're in their genius zone, and you're creating an epic company, an epic impact, because you guys are doing epic things that you love epically. I had to put another epic in there. So anyway, that's the entrepreneurial application here. Get clear on your genius zone and then stay in it. What's your highest and best use? Focus on that. Run the course. And where has this shown up in my life? I would say that moral obligation that I talked about comes from the podcast. I love helping people with their dreams and goals. I have a unique passion for it and ability to do it, ability to inspire, ability to motivate. So when it comes to the podcast, when it comes to this local Austin event I've been planning for February, March, when it comes to daily conversation with people, everything I do is me in my genius zone, which is selling people on themselves so that they can become the best version of themselves and go impact the people they love and that their heart breaks for. Where do I want this to show up in my life? I would say inspiring others to do the same, to stay in their genius zone. So I have done something that gives me energy. I want to inspire others to do the same. And I also want people to not only stay in their genius zone, but kind of hone the skill of encouraging people, of inspiring people, of giving people room to be who they are authentically, because I think at our core, we want to impact people positively. And because that's at our core, if we give people room to shine, they will naturally go towards things that are good for society. I really think that's where fulfillment comes from. When impact is prioritized, fulfillment comes out of that scenario. And so if we can give people space to impact people positively by giving them a platform to speak, a listening ear, a kind word, we'll give them space to create fulfillment both for ourselves and for that person. So that's where I want it to show up in my life, just inspiring other people to make that space, be that kind, say that kind word, be that listening ear, or create that platform, and then also live in their unique genius zone, whether that be art, sports, math, science, human services, whatever it be, leadership. I don't know. Everybody has their own genius zone. Everybody has their own things that give them energy. I just want people to pursue it. Now, how can you apply this to your life? I would say know your genius zone. I love helping people figure out their genius zone. If you go read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, so that's one way you can apply this to your life. Go read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And he'll tell you how to find your genius zone. And it's pretty simple. It's usually intuitive. And if you can't intuit it, it's probably because you haven't made a habit of listening to yourself, listening to your body, listening to your wants. Maybe because you spent a life people pleasing like I had. And when you decided to stop, you had no idea what you liked or who you were. And that's just a process of discovering, which comes from trial and error. So read that book. Either you'll know it or you won't. If you don't know it, go ahead and start the trial and error process. Be like, what do I like to do? Or what did I always want to do since I was a child? Move forward in that direction, get feedback, move forward again, get feedback, move forward, get feedback, so on and so forth. That's all we got for you guys today on the show. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you on the next one. And on that note, we're out.